Hello and welcome. Today I'm thrilled to be interviewing Anodea Judith. Anodea is the founder and director of Sacred Centers, a well-renowned teacher, healer and author. Anodea has been called a prophet of our time. Her passion for the realization of human potential matches, her concern for humanity, impending crisis, her wish is that we wake up in time. And so thank you all for tuning in for this interview with Anodea. And Anodea, thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you, Josephine, for the invitation. How could I not be part of a chakra summit?
Well, you are our most renowned leader for the chakras. I've been following you for a while, and I think anyone in the wellness or spiritual industry or energy work would probably know you for your ground breaking work with the chakra systems and yoga. And, you know, it's human philosophy and cultural evolution and the process of manifestation. So I was wondering if you could share with the audience a little bit about your story and how you got started on the journey with the chakras.
Well, that was a very long time ago because I came to the chakras in the early 70s, early 1970s, when I discovered yoga and began really reading everything I could on metaphysics and spirituality. And when I came across the word chakra for the first time, it was in a book by Ram Dass called The Only Dance There Is, and he mentioned the word chakras. I felt a jolt of energy go through my whole body. And I had a dream that night that I was lifting up a rock while I was hiking, and the earth shook. And I put the rock back down, and the earth stopped shaking, and then I picked it up, and it started shaking again. And I knew that I had found something really valuable. And I actually knew on some level that I'd found my life's work. And so I really dropped everything else I was doing. I was preparing to move back to New York City and go to art school and leave my studies of psychology and just be an artist, which is definitely a strong part of me still. But I decided to stay in California and take up yoga and meditation and many other things and write my book. I was sitting in a lotus position meditating. I had this little artist attic in a house, a little sheepskin rug, and I would sit there and meditate every day, really sometimes for quite a long time. And I had an out-of-body experience, and I looked down, and there I was sitting in lotus with a book on my lap on the chakras that was written by me. And then I knew I was to write a book on the chakras, and that was my first one, Wheels of Life. And the rest is history.
Wow. Yeah, the Wheel of Life was one of your, well, it was your first. You've got many other books as well. So the Eastern
Body, Western Mind.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that one there?
Yeah, so I was working as a therapist, psychotherapist, body-oriented psychotherapist, and I was also teaching the chakras and teaching yoga. And I was aware of the patterns in my clients that came in, the third chakra issues of power, or their sexual issues, or their relationship issues, or their communication issues. And I was also aware of their history. And as a therapist, I would get, what they had to deal with growing up. And I could map out these developmental stages in which there are certain skills that a child develops and a certain set of needs that a child has in order to develop those skills. Skills like language, skills like locomotion, skills like interpersonal social skills. But a child needs certain things in order to get that. And I coordinated that to the chakras. And so I decided to write the psychology of the chakras.
Yeah, which was beautiful. So what is one of your favorite super quick chakra techniques that people can do so that they can become more aligned with their energy?
Okay, that's a simple, I like that question because I do have a very simple technique. Whenever you're sitting down, which is often for us in this culture, we sit down to eat, we sit down at our computer, we get in the driver's seat of our car, we sit down to have a cup of coffee with a friend, we're basically a sitting culture, or we sit down to meditation, then you want to have your spine upright. And I have people close their eyes and visualize their roots pushing down into the earth and their crown lifting up. And as you push your roots down and your crown up, it's like a necklace of jewels, they all line up. And the chakras are the jewels in between. And so that brings your chakras into the best alignment you can, which is the shortest, most direct connection between heaven and earth through the sacred center of your very self.
Yes, good. So what do you think that the chakras have become more relevant with today's society?
Well, I think today we are living in a very fragmented society, and we're living in the result of belief systems that have separated mind from body, that has separated spirit from matter, separated heaven from earth, and really a lot of separations. And the chakra system is a system that brings things back into wholeness once again. It shows how they're related to each other. So it says, spirit and matter just exist on a continuum within us. They aren't two separate things. And mind and body really are on a continuum. We're not just a head running a body, but we are a complete nervous system that is aware all the way through our body. Consciousness exists in every cell of the body. And so I think people are looking for an embodied psychology, an embodied philosophy, an embodied spirituality. And the chakra system connects spirit, psychology, and body in one comprehensive system.
So could you tell the audience what's most dear to your heart when it is with the chakras?
What's nearest and dearest to my heart, I think, is what I discovered when I was writing Eastern Body, Western Mind. And I was looking at the developmental stages of a human from birth to adulthood and the stages they went through in the chakras. And I went, this can be mapped onto the culture at large, in that the culture had its infancy. That was back in the Stone Age. And then we had our toddlerhood. And that was when we were building our first villages and beginning to build ships and trade with each other and grow, the agrarian revolution where we learned to farm. And then we came into our early childhood, which was the first civilizations, and that was the third chakra and our struggle for power. And that now, I look at it that way, I see that we are on the cusp of moving from what I call the third chakra, love of power, to the fourth chakra, power of love, as an operating system for society. And that's a big, big shift. And I do see it happening everywhere, despite many of the things you look at in the surface of the news, which is like more fighting and more domination and all of that. But I think that's the last gasp of the old era. But what you see growing underneath is more equality, more caring about each other, more networking, less of a chain of command and more of a web of connection. The word love is even coming into politics more and more. Heart-centered leadership is coming into the leadership community. I mean, this cusp is happening everywhere, and that really, really excites me, that we're coming of age in the heart.
Yes. So do you have any parting words for the audience to move forward?
Well, I think that the chakra system is a system whose time has come. And it's a very, very profound system that can guide you in every aspect of your being. And it takes a lifetime to master the chakras. I can't claim to master them, and I've worked with it as my main thing all my life. But it keeps getting deeper. It keeps getting better. The more I work on it, the better my life gets. And so it's a map for wholeness, really. And so many people are on the spiritual journey, and they're trying this and they're trying that, but they don't have a map. And this map you can use regardless of what you believe in, what, religion you are, what nationality you are, what gender you are. This is a universal cosmic map that maps onto the body and takes us on our journey to wholeness and awakening.
Well, thank you, Anodea. So how can everyone that's listening to this, how can they stay connected with you online and, find more about you?
Sure. You can find me at anodeajudith.com, ANODEAJUDITH. And yes, Judith is my last name. AnodeaJudith.com. And I have many online courses, many of them self-paced. You can just download it, and it gives you one lesson at a time on the chakras, on yoga, on charge, which is the energy of the body, on leadership, on many different things, manifestation. And my books are there. And when I get back to teaching live, my schedule will be there. But because of COVID, I haven't started up teaching live yet.
No, none of us have, really.
Yeah.
But it's allowing us to all connect virtually and
That's
be
right.
able to provide more services out there. Because I noticed that you've got like a course running at the moment called Supercharge.
Yes.
As well. So
Supercharge your chakras. Yeah.
Yes. So could you tell us a little bit about that before we head off, so that people can look that up?
Yeah, that is a course that I taught for the Shift Network, and it's offered on an evergreen basis. And it's exercises for charging up your chakras and sometimes discharging them, because sometimes we can have too much energy in a chakra, it becomes excessive. And so you'll learn all about the psychology of the chakras and a set of practices in which to charge and discharge your chakras. I also have one called the Charge Mastery Program that is more about the life force energy, and one called Architecture of the Soul that is the psychology and the yoga and the theory, and also conversations for yoga teachers of how to teach this to your students.
Okay, thank you, Anodea, and thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you very much, Josephine. And thank you all to listening in on this summit. The chakras are a powerful model you won't regret learning about.